In this short but controversial video, I'm going to reveal how 3 easy exercises help drop high blood pressure below 120/80, starting today. In fact, these simple exercises take as little as 9 minutes per day, and they're so easy that almost anyone can do them. If you can walk from the living room to the kitchen, you can benefit from these blood pressure exercises without breaking a sweat. That means you can start lowering your blood pressure today. Wouldn't you feel amazed if for the first time in years you saw your blood pressure numbers under 120/80 after doing just one easy exercise for just 9 minutes? This is by far the simplest, easiest, and most effective method I know to lower blood pressure without suffering the side effects of prescription medications. The cause of your high blood pressure is actually irrelevant, be it genetic, high cholesterol, stress, or other factors. The exercises you're about to learn have helped, and believe me, I almost paid for this discovery with my life. Like you today, I was a ticking time bomb. My average blood pressure was 185/129. I should have been dead long ago. I guess it was my healthy lifestyle that kept me alive. I ate well, worked out every day, and took time to relax. But nothing seemed to help with my hypertension. Every day I monitored my blood pressure, and every day my worries grew. It wasn't just my fear of dying. Like you, I have wonderful friends and family. I worried about leaving my wife behind to take care of and support our children all alone. Without them, I may have given up. I was so desperate that as much as I disliked taking medications, I honestly considered that as a possibility. And you can bet my doctor pushed me pretty hard to start drugs. But I resisted, and I'll tell you why. Here are some of the shocking facts regarding blood pressure medications I discovered. According to a recent study conducted by the Wake Forest University School of Medicine, calcium channel blockers are estimated to cause 85,000 unnecessary deaths every year. And you're 25% more likely to suffer a heart attack if you take these blood pressure medications than if you don't. Not just from thousands of strokes and heart attacks, the deaths are also due to gastrointestinal bleeding, kidney and liver damage, plus weaker immune systems lead to all kinds of other diseases. Here's another example. A study published in the respected Lancet Oncology revealed that many of the most frequently used blood pressure drugs seriously increases the risk of cancer. And one more from around the world. Researchers at the University of Denmark reported that a significant portion of cholesterol-lowering drug users over the age of 50 will suffer from nerve damage as a direct result of using these medications. Even the news agencies are beginning to open up a little. USA Today reported recently that cardiovascular drugs have killed and injured more people than the government has acknowledged. I could go on and on, but I think you see the point. So, back to my story. There I was. My life clock was rapidly clicking away. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. I was desperately fighting to save my life, trying every natural solution I heard of. But nothing seemed to help. You may think I'm exaggerating, but according to the World Health Organization, high blood pressure is the #1 cause of death in the world. More than cancer, and more than any of the third world diseases. It's sometimes called the silent killer. But I don't agree with that at all. My symptoms were obvious. Maybe you'll recognize some of these symptoms yourself. I was constantly feeling stressed and anxious. This is a very common sign of high blood pressure because your arteries are literally succumbing to the pressure, which puts your body in a crisis mode. I had trouble sleeping. Sometimes I couldn't fall asleep. Other times I woke up in the middle of the night and couldn't doze off again. This is another common symptom of high blood pressure. Very often I had chest pain and other body pains. In fact, many people have told me that after they lowered their blood pressure using my exercises, their chronic pain simply disappeared. Worst of all, and this is a shameful one to admit, high blood pressure was taxing my love life. I thought this was just a part of aging, but it wasn't. Up to 80% of men over 50 who have high blood pressure also suffer some level of erectile dysfunction, because the arteries leading to the genitals are just as much affected as the arteries leading to other parts of the body. After I got my blood pressure under control using the simple exercises I'm about to teach you, all these aggravating health symptoms disappeared. In fact, I have more energy, stamina, and libido than I did in my 30s. No wonder my wife is so happy. In addition to the symptoms you experience on a daily basis, high blood pressure has been linked to Alzheimer's and some cancers. That's in addition to, of course, being the leading cause of death from stroke and heart attack. According to research published in 1995 in the Archives of Internal Medicine, reducing blood pressure by only 2 points causes a 15% reduction in the risk of stroke. Imagine what 20, 30, or even 50 points would do for you if you managed to lower your blood pressure naturally, starting today. Now, you're probably thinking, how exactly do these high blood pressure exercises work? I'll tell you in a minute. But first, for you to understand this exactly, here's an important side story. You may not get the connection to high blood pressure right away. Cut me a little slack, and you'll see this is in fact the key to lowering your blood pressure naturally. You see, I love horses. One day I was watching a TV show about a great horse whisperer called Monty Roberts. In front of thousands, including the Queen of England, he was demonstrating how he trains wild mustangs. Imagine those young stallions straight from the mountains. They have never seen cars or human beings in their lives. Exposed to this, everything in their blood and genes screams anxiety and fear. A wild horse's heart rate and blood pressure have been sky high since he was taken away from the mountains. Fascinated, I witnessed how in less than 10 minutes, Monty totally shifted the awareness of the tense, anxious animal. The effects were amazing. The horse completely calmed down, his heart rate slowed down, he became totally focused and relaxed, and his blood pressure dropped to normal, all in less time than it takes to make a pot of tea. I wouldn't have believed it unless I saw it with my own eyes. Something had obviously transformed internally. It was a changed horse. This immediately got me thinking. Could this technique be changed to suit humans instead of horses? Could I use this technique to lower my own blood pressure? It was far-fetched, but worth a try. After all, I had nothing to lose and everything to gain. With my experience as natural health researcher, I had a clear idea how to do it, and I started working on it right away. At the end of the day, I began testing my exercises. For the next 2 weeks, I changed and improved them. 2 weeks later, I checked my blood pressure. It was late August, a Sunday afternoon, a day I'll always remember. I couldn't believe my own eyes as I read 119/76. That's solidly below 120/80, which is considered a healthy blood pressure. My wife was even happier than I. She broke into a cry of relief. I never realized how worried she had been about me and how deeply she loves me till that day. Our kids came running into the living room. "What's going on?" And for the longest time, we all held each other, laughing and crying. Daddy was back to stay. For a few weeks, my blood pressure rocked a little up and down. However, it was never as high as before, and for years now it's been totally normal. Since then, I've developed this technique into 3 simple exercises that in almost all cases drastically drops high blood pressure in only a few short days. This technique has been proven effective by thousands of clients, possibly saving hundreds of lives. Their high blood pressure was caused by various things, including genetic causes, high cholesterol, stress and anxiety, and endless other things. It doesn't matter what the main cause is, the exercises have helped. Many of my clients had much higher blood pressure than I did and were on medications for years before they tried my high blood pressure exercises. It worked just as well for them. Here are just a few examples of people who succeeded with the exercises. I tried all the audios yesterday. I did not even go walking, but chose to tap the knees instead, as the audio said. I checked my blood pressure before starting, 180/115. Afterwards, after all 3 audios, I checked again, 150/90. Amazing after only 1 session. No one else seems to deal with the underlying issues causing hypertension. It seems as we age, I am 56, we have no way to release this tension without something like you offer. From Joseph Ludvigson, Carbondale, Illinois. Fantastic, Joseph. I downloaded the program at about 10 p.m. I did the 3rd exercise only once. I slept 3 hours. I began my day. At about 11 a.m., I took my blood pressure. The result? 127/63. I just about fell off the chair. I did not take my meds, 4 pills. I know my meds really well. I took my BP again at 5 p.m. The result? 132/75. No meds. Wow. I was so busy I did not do any of the other exercises. It is 10:30 p.m. My BP results, 136/79. No meds. I will do the 3rd exercise again in 10 minutes and go to sleep. Tomorrow I will do all the exercises. Now this makes me determined to prove the MD wrong. Daniel, North Hills, California. Amazing, Daniel, after just doing 1 of the exercises. My wife is a nurse, and she was skeptical about your program. Now that my blood pressure is under control, she has become a believer. Ron Baker, Greenville, South Carolina. I love that, Ron. Don't argue with anyone. Just show them in action. I am delighted with the results with your blood pressure program. I've dropped from around 146/90 to today's reading, 122/74. Ken Brown, Exmouth, Utah. Good work, Ken. From borderline high blood pressure down to a healthy level. I believe this is magic. I got your program yesterday, and already I feel better. I go back to my doctor today. She'll be happy for me. I really hope to get off this medicine. The side effects will kill you. I slept all night after doing the evening exercise. Thank you so much. Jeannie Mayer, Washington, D.C. Isn't that amazing? Now, these front runners managed to cure their high blood pressure using nothing but simple, easy exercises. And as you saw, some of them literally overnight. Now, however, you're probably wondering what these exercises are and if they'll work for you. I'll get to that in a second, but first, so you understand how the exercises work, I have to explain. What actually causes high blood pressure? It's probably not what you think. First of all, you have to realize that your high blood pressure didn't just happen overnight. It's not like catching the flu. Your problem with high blood pressure actually began to develop long before your blood pressure numbers began to rise. Most doctors admit that even if they know about some indicating factors, most of the time they have very little idea what initially causes high blood pressure to appear in the first place. Therefore, it's tough to find a solution. You see, everyone experiences rises in blood pressure from time to time. That's normal under stressful situations or while doing physical workouts. But it only becomes a problem if your blood pressure stays high for a long period of time and doesn't drop while resting. When you're hypertensive, your heart then constantly pumps blood with more force than your arteries can comfortably take. Therefore, your arteries begin to harden, like rusted water pipes. Your hard arterial walls tend to get cracks inside them when blood rushes through them with such a high-pressure force. Cholesterol and other slime in the blood gather in these cracked scar tissues inside your arteries, making them even narrower and harder. This is how your arteries may look right now. Not a pretty sight, right? At this point, a deadly cycle begins. Since less blood